definitely keep an eye on this game, and of course, we'll talk about in our review radar. But yeah, let's see because it's quite interesting, and yeah, the my estimate that in 12 months it will do around 980 million. I guess they're still on the way to do it, but yeah, let's see if they. It will heavily depend now on the PvP feature implementation and.
It's 4 a.m. and we're rolling the dice. Matei drops knowledge made of golden eyes. Felix with ads making those coins rise. Jakub designs worlds chasing the skies. We're the 2.5 gamers, the midnight crew. Talking UA adverts and game design too. Matei, Felix, Jakub bringing the insight. We're rocking those vibes till the early daylight. Matei, UA, master eyes on the prize. Tracking data through the cyberspace skies. Felix stacks dollars like a wizard in disguise. Jakub's crafting realms lift us to the highs. 2.5 gamers talking smack. Slow hockey stick, got your back. Ads are beautiful, they light the way. Click it fast, don't delay. Uh-huh. 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 Uh-huh.
Hello, hello. So we're back with the monologue sections about some, I guess, different topics that warrant the whole podcast that we do. So let's get to this. What I want to talk today about is Pokemon TCG Pocket and the latest updates, which were, I think, quite, as I guess everybody was expecting what will happen with the trading feature and all these things, and especially how the numbers will change. So yeah, without further ado, let's look into this and check what actually happened, and let's go really granular one by one because I guess there's a lot of things to talk through here. So looking at the revenue, of course, this is the main point here. You can clearly see that during the launch of the game at the start of November, as the first set pretty much hit in, that was the A1 set, the revenue spikes went all the way to something like 5 million a day, and the game pretty much then kind of went down a little bit, as it's like a typical format with the gacha game. Like if you look at something like, I don't know, Genshin Impact, it always goes in these spikes when new content is released, new gachas, new banner stuff, and that's normal for a gacha game. This other spike here on December 18 or 17, that is basically the expansion, the mini expansion during Christmas that was released. And then you see that the game gradually went down and down and down and down. It could look like whatever, it's going down, but fret not, this is a gacha game, these goes in spikes. So this is not really the stuff that happens within these games. And so we are here in Thursday, January 30th, where the game hit record revenue, and it hit record revenue even on Saturday to something like $7,600,000, which I guess we'll see how long this will last, but I guess it will be just a few days until kind of goes down a little bit. Regarding the download section, I would say kind of pretty stable. Like if we just omit the sharp spike during the launch, yeah, I guess it's kind of somewhere consolidated. Now you see that it's rising again to something like 400K downloads a day. Just to kind of check the filter here, that is still driven mainly by US, which is very positive because mostly people think that it's just Japan. Japan is half of US here. If you look at active users, it's pretty much, I think, back at its all-time high, which was something like 20 million daily active users. Yeah, 19 something, I guess they'll get there here because people are logging in back to kind of check the new packs, new cards and stuff like that. US still taking the majority here with around 21%, Japan with 10%, France with 11%. It's very surprising, but yeah, very good tier 1 traffic up here. So definitely pristine player base. And if we look at the retention, yeah, the numbers are, I think, like the wildest I ever seen on Sensor Tower. I think this, like, something's broken here because this doesn't make any sense. So day 1, 71%, day 7, 53%, day 30, 43%, day 60, 42%, day 90, 42. Basically, from day 30, the line just is flat for 42%. I don't think so. This is the case. I guess somewhere's probably wrong here, but again, probably the retention is very high, but not this high. I guess we need to take this with a grain of salt, or like as we say, sadness multiplier, but I don't know. Going back to the revenue, there was this one interesting trend here that I want to showcase, where if we go by countries filter, the like you can see that in the beginning of the game it was driving mainly by Japan. Like Japan is the biggest revenue share of biggest country on the revenue share pie, and still like if we take lifetime revenue of the game is like 40% with US just 25%. But if we see this latest expansion here, which we have here, yeah, this is just the new year from January 1st. We see how US is sharply spiking up to something like 31%, and Japan falling a little bit down because, yeah, it seems that it is, yeah, now I guess it got back a little bit. Now Japan overtook on Saturday US, but definitely in the beginning, US was the major country behind the revenue growth there. But yeah, let's see how this goes in. I don't think so. Like Japan will be overtook long term. It's just that it's very positive for the game that it's not only in Japan or like an Asian thing. It's also very strong in the US because of course Pokemon brand is the biggest IP in the world and is also very strong in the US. Yeah, moving on. So let's get into the game to see what's actually happened. So looking at these new packs that we have here, so we had the new expansion called Space Time Smackdown, which again we have two different packs that have different cards in them. Some of them are same, some of them are the chase cards, especially Dialga and Palkia, and we have, yeah, as you see here, different cards that are just very specific for this deck, such as I don't know. I don't really know these new Pokemons, to be honest. Like I stop at like 250, so this is now going definitely over 250. But let's see. But basically, based on the current meta, if you look here, we can check. Yeah, these are the X cards in the deck, which are just specific to this deck. So these 5 X cards you can get only from this deck, and then Palkia can get the other 5. So yeah, I guess Darkrai X is the most, I guess, currently sold of card because there's a new passive damage meta. I'll get to it in a little bit. And then in Palkia, yeah, same thing, just a different flavor. Yeah, here we are. Weevil X again. Weevil X is the most kind of sold of card. Palkia is pretty much like the new Articuno Misty thing, but yeah, let's see. Let's see how the meta shifts later about it. But yeah, we have new cards. There are not that many as there were before because if we go here and check the initial batch of cards was 226, then the mini expansion during Christmas time was 68 cards, the new Mythical Island one, and now we got 155 cards, so pretty much 70 cards less than the usual kind of big expansion. I guess they just wanted to keep the first set as big as possible. Similarly, how CCGs do it, and then slowly like these things rotates out. But yeah, that's there. New card rarity hasn't been added yet. I think it was leaked that they will eventually add new card rarity, but no, it's not. Like still the biggest card rarity is the crown cards, which are the like 1 in 10,000 cards thing. Very hard to get, like completely gold. The thing is that it's just still a visual thing. The functionality and the cards that you need to build the biggest decks are just 4 diamond cards. That's it. It's like you don't really need the cosmetic nature of these cards. So if we scroll here, yeah, these are the 1-star cards, 2-star cards, these immersive 3-star cards, and then I don't even have the crown card here. But yeah, this is basically all cosmetic. There's no functional effect on these cards that you would feel during gameplay. Okay, so what's happening with trading and why are we even talking about this? Because this seems like business as usual until now. So everybody was expecting trading and how it would affect the game because, and I'll stop here for a second, gacha games thrive on randomness, meaning that you can choose what you get. The whole gacha is a progression system, so it slowly gives you a new, pretty much new cards, new cards that they will deal with you, and you need to kind of figure out your strategy what you dealt with. So that's also the beauty of it, that you need to kind of figure out from the things that are randomly given to you how you play it, how you go around your strategy. Going directly against the gacha, meaning skipping its randomness, is always bad for this model. It's immense value here because these cards and the drop percentages that these are calculated for always take into account that you're getting them randomly. If you skip all of this randomness, meaning like, I don't know, like the crown card, as I said, you get 1 in 10,000 rolls. So imagine how much dollars I would need to dish out in order to get 10,000 rolls, which statistically would guarantee that get gold card. And now I can buy it for, I don't know, $5 or trade it or something like giant discounts. So it's not like, yeah, gacha games just are not compatible with trading. So I was expecting that this, as we talked on a previous podcast that we covered this game, that there will be some kind of watered down version, or like they can't really. It was not physically possible for game to trade all the cards. It's just like not physically possible. So let's get to the restriction and see what's actually happening here. So to start off, like it will just be worse and worse from this point on. You can't trade cards just like that. Like here's your card, here's my card. You need two things just to initiate the trade. First thing is these trade tokens. And yeah, this is the stuff where it gets really funny. Because how do you get these trade tokens? You burn cards. You literally burn your cards that you have in order to trade them for trade tokens. So then, when you are trading a card for something that you actually want, it needs to be accompanied based on its rarity with these trade tokens. So, yeah, in order to trade one diamond card, which are like the common ones, you don't need any. Same for 2 diamond cards. But the 3 diamond cards, which are the rares, and 4 diamond cards, the epics, or let's say the X, pretty much the X Pokemon, the meta defining cards that really it's all about, you need 500 tokens. And by burning the one X card, you literally get 125. So we get to a point where, yeah, it's literally this, and Reddit is like now full of memes where people are very angry about this new system, especially from players' perspective, because it's very, yeah, feels very greedy, feels very unintuitive, prohibitive, and as we talked before, gachas are not really compatible with these systems. Of course, they created as prohibitive as possible, with as much friction as possible. So yeah, what you see here on the screen, this is pretty much it. Like you need to burn 5 3 diamond cards in order to get 1 diamond card. That's it. And it's as I said, memes are everywhere. This is actually it. So if I want to get an X card from my friend, I actually need to burn an equivalent of 4 of these X cards, to get just the trade tokens to initiate the trade. On top of it, because why not, there's even more friction and more prohibitive stuff. There's this trading energy, which what it does, it basically, you can only trade so much, and these, like, each card needs to be accompanied by one trading energy, and it takes 24 hours to kind of regenerate one, so you can do 5 trades and then like 1 trade a day basically. If you look into the guide, yeah, there's a guide, and this is where it gets really like the most most prohibitive thing ever. So you can only trade with your friends. Another thing that limits you. You can just, there's no auction house, there's nothing. You can just select the friend in your trade list, and then you choose just one card from your collection and you send it to that friend. But yeah, you're asking like, wait a second, like how that friend knows that if, like, which card I want to trade this for, or like which one I need? You don't. That's the point. So it's as prohibitive that you literally need to communicate outside of the game because there's no chat, no nothing. So somehow you need to get to that friend and tell him that you want this card. So basically he needs to be sitting right next to you, or you go on Discord servers where people are, of course, matching each other requests, and a lot of friction basically going outside of the game. So and then you initiate the trade, and that's it basically. And there's notifications if it happens, but of course, the game assumes that he's basically sitting right next to you, so this is not important anymore. Cards, as we said, can be traded only for the same rarity. So, for instance, I now am trading here like this train that I sent to John. Thanks, John. Shout out to you. And I pretty much just said, okay, do you want my Serperior 3 diamond card, and can you send me? There's nothing to it, honestly. Like, you just can't tell anything, and there's no possibility even to communicate like which card you want. So they made it as prohibitive as possible. As said, there's a lot of these memes, and like the power player community, they are very, very angry. Everybody's angry, but as we see on the revenue, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares because the game is hitting all-time record. So that's how it is. I'm thinking that they will basically just leave it as it is. As said, the most prohibitive thing and why this was not available during launch is that you can trade stuff from the current expansion. So that's why we didn't get it on the launch, because there were no previous expansion to trade for. So they need to wait for one expansion to rotate out, so it get into the past, and a new comes in, which is the shiny one that's pretty much dragging this 8 million a day column spike in sensor tower. And now you can pretty much, as some kind of a PT timer or like forgiving part, to kind of enable other players to come in and to be able to create like this opening of new players that they can still join in. Yeah, you can catch up now much faster on the previous expansion because you can actually trade with that. So if you find somebody, you can trade the cards that you get as duplicates, and yeah, it will speed up a little bit the collection. And you still need those cards, don't get me wrong, like top deck still require stuff from the previous expansion, but of course everybody is now switching to the new expansion. So that's there, but I think there was no, like, from players perspective, there was no good choice here. From a games perspective, also there was no like other choice than this to make it as prohibitive as possible. By the way, also promo cards cannot be traded, so only and all those like giant chase cosmetic cards like 2-star, 3-star gold, like they also cannot be traded. Yet at least that was they said. And I think they're just like slowly trying to move away from this thing. Probably they just implemented it because this is the name of the game, because it's a trading card game and there was no trading in it. But this is not really trading. This is like as prohibitive as this can get. But yeah, they still implemented it, and there we go. So even though there was the big community uproar, the revenue is hitting record heights. So I think the game will still be great. The problem that I have with the game now, as the feature set is like this trading thing is like a nothing burger, so we don't really need to talk about this anymore. The problem is that if we go to battling part, there's still no proper ladder. So we can go random match or we can go private match, but there's still no ladder, no ranking, no PvP stats, no rewards for this, nothing. The only thing that happens is that events kind of frequently rotate out, come and go. It's either win 45 cumulative wins and get an emblem, or win 5 wins in a row, which is again even more harder. And you can get these kind of emblems, that you can get like 4 battling from those events. That's great, but that's it basically. And it gets boring and repetitive pretty fast. So they really need to come up with proper PvP ladder ranking and proper like new events that are being put into the rotation. Because currently the game is if you look at what's kind of waiting there in the pipeline. So here we are. So there will be some new rare events. By the way, anybody that wants to hop in, wait for this one. This is the top card in like the meta to get there. There will be some special booster packs during the 27th February, which is Pokemon Day, where you will get a guarantee 4 diamond cards. So like 4 diamond X cards. Everybody will get. Of course, from the older packs, not the new packs. Like, what did you expect? So that's there. There's also the McDonald's promotion running with the game in America, where you can get either these like 15 promo cards for the actual like, physical cards, and 24 pack hourglasses and 12 wonder glasses if you input the code. So that's running until 24th of February. And yeah, where do we have this? I think I had it somewhere here. Yeah, here we go. So there's a drop event starting on 3rd of February. There's emblem event starting on 4th of February. Wonder Pig event 7th of February. Darkness Time Mass Outbreak event 21st of February. This was the one that I was showing. This one. Yeah, so they keep rotating these events. Those are pretty much templatized. That they're just like nothing new yet as for functionality, which is a little bit worrying. I guess by this time it should have something new or something other. It would be even great if, let's say, the single player content got fleshed out a little bit. Of course, they added new solo battles during the expansion here. So yeah, there's like new stuff and some more free to play rewards, but this again gets very like, yeah, you pretty much blaze through it, nothing really to it. So yeah, this is my biggest gripe with the game currently, that it needs to increase its feature set. Like, we need new stuff, new ladder PvP ranking, and new events, because the cards and the sets are definitely working, as you see there. And they already said there will be a new expansion in 3 months, and there will be new mini expansion in between. And you in order to keep up with the meta, of course, you'll need to yeah, pay a lot. Because if you look at the best decks currently, you see that, yeah, the top decks, like this new one, is basically all the cards from the new meta. Like, literally, I think just the Pokeballs, the Retreat, and Professor Ogre, the old ones. All these other cards are new, so you need to get those. This is an upgrade of the Pikachu deck, which is these two cards, these two, again, something like 8, but 2x cards again. Palkia has its own, Dialga has its own X deck, Darkrai, even if the same. Like, you see, so it's by this kind of power creep that they're trying to scale the content of the game. So new cards will be always stronger than the previous cards, or counter the current meta. I guess eventually they'll get stronger and stronger, meaning that they actually raise the HP damage of these cards, because there's no way around it. And then the old cards will be rotated out or reprinted later. I don't know, maybe that's also a possibility. But as you see here, yeah, the top decks are basically from the new expansion. So this is working good for now. But let's see how long it lasts. We'll definitely keep an eye on this game, and of course, we'll talk about it on review radar. But yeah, let's see, because it's quite interesting. And yeah, the my estimate that in 12 months it will do around 980 million. I guess they're still on the way to do it, but yeah, let's see if they. It will heavily depend now on the PvP feature implementation and expansion of their events pipeline. But yeah, let's see. Yep, thanks for listening. I guess we'll do more of these kind of solo podcasts from now on, because they're easy to do. And yeah, we all like to talk about some different topics. Feel free to suggest that if you want to join our Slack, or subscribe as usual. See you around. Have a nice day. Bye bye.